Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer-Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today.
Knocked Prone is a clean, chaotic, and deep podcast for D&D nerds. Find more ways to support our show in the episode description.
Last prone on time knocked.
Zag is going to, even though being kind of like unstable on the boat, know that the phylactery is like a main target. After seeing Selene go for it, he's going to just kind of follow her lead and do the same.
How would you like to destroy this phylactery thorn?
It's like circling around Vecna, right? He takes one try attempt to like grab it, misses, takes a second to attempt, grabs it, catches it mid-air, and just squeezes the life out of it until it turns to just ash in his hand.
If the primordials are fighting against themselves, I'm not sure if it's worth losing anybody else.
As Zag falls, I will just look up to her in hatred. Like at her next things that she goes, I just completely brace myself and I feel like I'm unmoved. I am going to dive off the ship. You've lost! Save some of your dignity and at least flee before we kill you.
Unfortunately, Zag, you will fail. You will take 26 points of force damage. You watch as Zag is pulled 2 extra feet under the purple goop and is 6 feet under. Oh, shoot.
Whether you're a halfling, a giant, or somewhere in between,
round the table with your friends, playing Dungeons and Dragons.
And if life ever knocks you down, your dice will surely turn around. Roll your stats, it's time to quest. Let's put your characters to the test.
Grom, it is still your turn. You currently have a bonus action left. You dove in after Zag, seeing that he was unconscious and drowning in the purple goop. Zag is currently 5 feet away from you in the sense of the battle map, but 6 feet underneath the purple goop and is continually sinking as he is unconscious. What would you like to do with your bonus action?
Can I, technically as an attack, grapple him in an attempt to keep him from going further deeper?
You still have movement, right?
I would imagine so. I just dived off. I didn't move at all.
Absolutely. I will need you to make me an athletics check to see if you can agilely move through this purple goop or if it's going to kind of like solidify on you.
Fair enough. Ooh, 19.
What is your strength?
Plus 7, and then I have expertise in...
Oh my gosh, I saw his roll. I was like, that's not going to work.
That is the lowest I can go without achieving critical failure.
Well, a 19 will pass. You were able to Michael Phelps through the purple goop and get to Zag.
So I'm just trying to keep him from going further so that I can lift him up on my next turn.
Wonderful. Yes. So you were able to grapple Zag. However, now that you are this deep down, you are kind of feeling the effects of, like, you're getting claustrophobic. You feel like you're an adult in a Chuck E. Cheese tunnel that is definitely not made for you. Not speaking from personal experience. Anyway, is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
That's everything.
Let's go over to Zag. Make me a death saving throw.
I would rather just attack Vecna.
Here's the deal. You have 1 failed death save from fall damage. If you roll a natural 1, you are dead.
Yeah.
Zag, go ahead and roll me a death save.
Don't you dare die.
7.
That's a failure.
Oh, it's not a 1.
Go ahead and tell me a memory from Zag's life that is not necessarily a good memory. As you are slipping closer to death.
Flashback to when he was like, probably, I think mid-teens, maybe pre-teens, hiding in the Underdark with his, the tribe of kids and with his uncle, and they were just trying to stay out of sight and stay out of mind, trying to keep Zag safe. and just living in this dark, cold, grimy place. Knowing Zag, his whole life is, centered around like making friends and relationships with people and positivity. And it was a time in his life when it was just dark,
Right.
sad, and alone.
Yeah. And you remember like the chill through your bones as Drider legs skittered across the floor, and nobody wanted anything to do with you. And if anything, you were an enemy in that moment. You are now feeling this dread as you sink closer to death. But with that, we're going to go over to Thorn is no longer
No,
around.
he's not animated.
Efimia, we're going back up to the top of the order. You are currently caressed in Orcus's arms.
I'm actually riding his shoulders.
Yes, you're riding on Orcus's shoulders, even better. You see Zag is completely overwhelmed by purple goop. Grom has dove in completely under the purple goop after him, but Vecna is 20 feet away from you, towering over buildings, and she is looking angry. You are about 35 feet away from Zag. What would you like to do with your turn?
Efimia's gonna see Zag under this goop, or
Right.
at least like at this point he's so deep she can hardly see him. But she knows it's obviously not good, especially having been in that herself already. She doesn't want to let Zag go.
Right.
This is her found family. She's not willing to watch anyone go down for what she feels like is also like part of her fault. Efimia's gonna look at Orcus and go, okay, Orcus, I'm gonna need you to do something stupid for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my whole shtick, if you haven't noticed. What do you need?
Can you throw me in the direction of where Zag is in the goop? Just throw me in there.
Have you seen that Lord of the Rings movie? Yeah, I can do that.
No.
Go ahead and roll me a athletics check for Orcus. I will say he has a +8 to athletics.
16.
A 16, yes. So you are going to be slightly off target, so you're going to hit 10 feet away from Zag in this purple goop. Go ahead and make me an athletics check as you hit this purple goop and are traveling towards Zag.
All right. 17.
17, yeah. Absolutely, you're able to, the competitor to Michael Phelps, because you're right behind him, you swim after Grom and are able to also get to Zag. What would you like to do?
Efimia's dad was a pirate. She knows how to swim.
Yes! Tell me about the time that your dad taught you how to swim.
Efimia's dad grew up on the waters until he was a teenager, but then his job after that still worked with him on ships.
Right.
Even though he wasn't, so much in the pirate sense anymore. When she learned to swim, it was actually him taking her out to the ocean. He actually took a favorite necklace of hers and just threw it in, not too deep, just to kind of make her go get it.
Right.
So she kind of had to learn by experience because she was a little too scared to go in at first. She was pretty young at the time, but at that point she was forced to go get it. So even though she was mad at her dad, he always knew she'd pick it back up.
Your fight or flight instincts of hitting this salty ocean water kicks in as you think back to the time of your dad teaching you how to swim, and you were able to get right to Zag. What would you like to do with the rest of your turn?
I would like to use my action, add 70 points to Zag for lay on hands.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
All right.
We're at my lay on hands pool. And so, yeah, she's going to add that to Zag. And is she under the goop? Or?
Yes. So you are currently 6 feet under with Grom and Zag. Zag, welcome back to the land of the living. You see just bubbles.
Poor Selene's the only one flying above the air right now.
Selene, it just looks like the water's boiling or the goop is boiling with
Everybody's over there.
the talking bubbles under there.
We're having a reunion, okay?
Zag, you are now back alive. Efimia, is there anything you would like to do with the rest of your turn?
Could I use Misty Step to get out of the goop?
Roll me a investigation check as you are trying to remember which way is up as you are trying to cast this Misty Step.
15.
You are able to determine which way is up, and you are able to cast Misty Step and get 30 feet out of the...
Oh, can I just go up to Kobo's Motoboto?
Yes, absolutely. So you are able to Misty Step onto Kobo's Motoboto of Song, Story, and Salutation, and Kobo says,
Welcome back, Efimia.
Oh, Kobo, am I glad to see you.
It's always a pleasure. What, should we kill this
you are now outside of the purple goop on top of Kobo's Motoboto of Song, Story, and Salutation. You're feeling good about just saving Zag. We are going to go over to the status report. What we're going to do, I need Efimia and Selene both roll me a d4.
I got a 4. Is that a bad 4?
I got a 3.
Did we roll bad or good?
So that is going to be electric and rock are the two elements that are currently fighting. If you are on the ground, so that's going to be Grom and Zag, add a d4 on your next check as the ground is electrified around you. So you will have a bonus d4 to, I'm assuming, your next athletics check to get out of the purple loop.
Nice.
That is very serendipitous. So
Nice.
thank you, Selene and Efimia, for the good d4 rolls.
We did something good.
They did a good job.
And with that, it is going to be Vecna's turn. Efimia, roll me a d6 just for funsies.
Just for funsies. I don't like
Just-
it.
Never for fun.
Just for funsies for me, for funsies.
I got a 1.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Efimia and Selene, seeing that you are the only two above the purple goop at the moment, go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
I'm in danger.
Right. Yeah. Unnatural 20.
An unnatural 20. All right.
That means I can't die right. I got a 17.
Oh.
Hey, really?
DC 18. I'm so
dang.
sorry.
That's a high DC.
No, I'm gonna just.
You're gonna burn an
I'm
inspiration?
gonna burn an inspiration.
Okay. The number to beat is 18.
5.
A 5.
It was plus 6, so 11.
An 11. Okay. Unfortunately, you will take 50 points of force damage. And Selene, you will take 0 since you have evasion. However, Efimia, go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw to see if Kobo's Motoboto of Song, Story, and Salutation is going to shake you prone or knock you prone.
No, it not. 18.
An 18 will succeed. So you are not knocked prone as Kobo's Motoboto. It's kind of rattly as you get on it anyway. And then so as it gets hit, yeah, we just taped it together after the last thing, Kobo says from the helm. And you feel as bolts shake off, but you do not. And you are able to stay standing. And with that, that is the end of Vecna's turn.
I am pretty bloodied.
Selene, you are up. So you are currently 6 feet above Grom and Zag. You are literally on the cusp of the purple goop. You've just escaped from its clutches. What would you like to do?
Zag and Grom are still under the goop.
Yes, 6 feet under. They're technically considered suffocating. At the beginning of their turns, they'll roll a d4 to see how much deeper they will go.
And at this point, Zag is stabilized.
Zag is
he's
not
healed.
stabilized. He's healed.
And healed. Yes, of course.
He's at least alive.
I obviously know you guys are okay, but I feel like if Selene just saw bubbles from y'all drowning under purple goop, I would go help. Efimia, what's going on in there?
Okay, first I've been hit. I'm doing fine. Actually, I'm doing great. They're down there. I couldn't bring them with me, but I at least made sure Zag was alive. I gave him what I had.
Okay, I'm glad he's got Grom down there. I think between the two of them they'll be okay. Do you think?
I think so. I don't think we have many options here.
So obviously Selene was really panicked to see Zag and now Grom lost under the goop. But I also just want to add that I was seriously bolstered seeing Grom jump in after Zag and Efimia immediately go down to help, like before I even had the chance to do anything, and I'm right there to witness that. I feel like I have newfound energy, and I would like to first use my bonus action to end Ghost Walk, so I have my movement back, and bolt towards Vecna to do what Selene does best, which is to butcher.
To butcher.
That's so cool.
So, I will fly towards Vecna, and I'm kind of down low so that I can use all my movement speed. And I'm going to use my action to use my Ahlpike and slash at her shins.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So you're kind of targeting like her artery on her leg, and as you're hitting into her shin, and go ahead and roll to hit.
a natural 20.
Nice.
That does hit.
Oh, good.
It's a good thing we didn't continue this session from last time, because if we
that
did, we'd
was
probably
so
be losing
bad.
right now.
We'd be dead.
Easily my worst rolling session ever.
13 points of damage, and then of course I'll use my sneak attack as well. 29 points of damage for sneak attack. That is the end of my turn.
As you hit Vecna, you slash into this artery on her leg, and it starts to excessively bleed as you gouge into her, and she is looking heavy, her shoulders pained, and she is lingering as she starts to continue to walk. And then she reassures herself, and Vecna is going to use her gargantuan legs to walk towards Grom and Zag. Selene, go ahead and make me an attack of opportunity as she leaves your space.
Heck yeah. Ooh, I got a 13, but I'm gonna use an inspiration.
Okay.
No! I got a 13 again.
Oh no.
I'm using another one.
Using another inspiration point.
Once I
The
go, I
dwarf
don't want to
villain.
waste it.
Yeah,
I don't want to waste
totally.
I got my third 2 in a row, which means it's 13 again.
Oh no.
3 2s in a row.
The worst part is that it's not even a natural one, so you can't
That's
use it.
that's the halfling.
and I only
That's the
have-
halfling one right there.
I only have one more inspiration. I'm not going to use it.
You try and slash out with your Ahlpike, but the blood from this artery spurts into your eyes, and you are completely blinded for a split second as you blindly lash out at Vecna's leg. And she continues over towards Grom and Zag, who are currently in the purple goop. And Efimia, as you're looking at Vecna, it almost looks like she is punching into the purple goop where Grom and Zag are. But at the last moment, you notice that her fist realigns and punches into the roof of one of these buildings that is a part of Greyhaven. And she is going to punch into a building that you would recognize as the Rune Crystal Warehouse. She gets a 17 natural. And so she's going to punch through this crystal warehouse and completely tear it apart. And she sees these golden rune crystals glowing, and her eyes light up as she starts clawing into this huge heap of rune crystals and absolutely, like cheese wheels in Skyrim, downing them one after the other after the other. It seems that she is healing from this.
How dare you?
She will heal back to basically before when Selene hit her. She's at 173 out of 357 over the bloodied mark. So it seems that she doesn't heal as much as she would like, and she is going to grimace as she feels like she is losing. And with that, that is the end of Vecna's turn. Grom, you are up.
I would like to use my action to try to escape from the goop. Where I have Zag with me, am I able to bring him with me?
You are grappling Zag, so I will allow you to roll an athletics check with disadvantage.
Fair enough, fair enough. 33 with disadvantage. That's wild,
a 33?
dude.
Okay, absolutely.
Wow.
Go ahead and describe how Grom is feeling as he watches Zag die in front of him. You dive after him. You swim as fast as you can. Efimia gets to him before you can and heals him up. You are the one to grab him and are able to lifeguard him to safety. What are your feelings right now?
As I dive in, grab his arm, and I feel that it's limp and isn't responding, I will start desperately trying to heal, but with the energy not coming towards me, I'll start screaming. And as you said, the bubbles going up, when he feels the life come back to Zag, he's just going to burst out. And if you would allow me to, I want to throw Zag at her.
With a 33 athletics check, abso-frickin-lutely. Go ahead and roll me an attack at Vecna. So you have the Tavern Brawler feat. Absolutely, you can use Zag as an improvised weapon. Go ahead and roll an attack to hit.
I guess I don't get my proficiency, so it's 24.
A 24 will hit.
Okay, and then, so 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Zag, you have been violently...
As I'm the bubbles allow us to escape easier, but then as we exit, it's just... Yeah.
And then you hear Zag. So Zag, you fly through the hands of Grom and are just absolutely wrestled out of the purple goop to safety, and are going to headbutt Vecna for 9 points of damage right in the sternum, and you are going to cause Vecna to lose her breath as she is going to kind of gasp for air as you hit her. Is that the end of your turn, Grom?
Can I use a bonus action to attack her?
You can use a bonus action to attack her.
A 29?
A 29 will absolutely hit.
16 points of bludgeoning damage and 3 points of radiant.
So you throw Zag, and then in your other hand, throw your hammer and double hit Vecna in the same spot. She is absolutely out of breath. With that, she is not looking great.
Is there a way that I can get onto like a structure or something like that to prevent myself from sinking again?
Yes, so you see the crystal rune warehouse next to you absolutely smashed into oblivion as Vecna punches through it. It is now just a ruin of a building. However, you are able to maneuver towards that building and are able to climb upon the ruins of it and are able to get in a more advantageous position so that you're not in the purple goop anymore.
Cool. And then that'll be my turn.
Awesome. Zag, you are currently mid-flight after hitting Vecna's sternum. Your spine has been realigned and you are feeling 70 hit points better than you were before. What would you like to do with your turn?
So many thoughts going through Zag's mind. First of all, his first thought is he never learned how to swim.
You think back to Efimia learning how to swim.
From her father?
From her father.
I never knew my father. A lot of emotions. He gets brought back. He can't breathe. He gets thrown. I'm going to just say he probably can't breathe very well either after being thrown into a giant Vecna.
Yeah.
He hits Vecna with his head and he starts to like free fall down. And that's, I feel like, when he would like kind of regain conscious thought to be like, what is happening?
Right.
So reactively, Zag's going to cast Fly on himself.
Wonderful.
And he'll just, as he's falling, you'll just see him like stop and levitate for a second. And I'm going to use my Channel Divinity Balm of Peace.
Okay.
So my very presence is a soothing balm. I can move up to my speed without provoking opportunity attacks, and with it, whenever I move within 5 feet of another creature, I can restore 2d6 plus my wisdom modifier to them. So as Zag like is free falling, he like stops in midair and levitates. He's gonna do like almost like a circling motion around Vecna, so he gets within Grom, within Selene, and then lands up top near Efimia.
Yeah.
Simultaneously as he's doing that, healing them all on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. You unlock this speed with your flying speed of 60, and you are able to get towards everyone with this divine intervention. You feel Kalen's soul stones heat up as you are healing the party. And how much do you heal them for?
14 to everybody.
14. Everyone heal for 14 hit points as you feel Zag's bond re-bolster between you as he is now alive again.
And I want to say, as he lands on the boat near Efimia, and I'm throwing this back to the time that Efimia did a sweet 3-point landing and I ruined it. I want Zag to land in a 3-point stance near Efimia and then biff. Like he lands and he gets off balance and then he falls right below, like at her feet.
A 3.5 point.
A 3.5 points land.
Wonderful. Okay, you do this 3.5 point land and you heal everyone for a total of 42 hit points between the group of them, swimming through a lot of emotions as you have just come back from being unconscious near death, reminiscing on the Underdark, and are now in the overworld with your party. Vecna is going to take her second legendary action after your turn. Selene, go ahead and roll me a d6.
I'm about to get wrecked.
6.
No! Her eyes darken as she sees you burst out of the purple goop, hit into her sternum, and then just fly away from her. She swings at you like King Kong to planes as you fly uninhibited but with your divine intervention. But as you land on Kobo's Moto Bodo, she is going to scream out a terrible, guttural scream, and I'm going to need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Nat 20.
Yes!
Dude, that might be my biggest one
Yes,
of the whole game.
okay. With a natural 20, I'm going to say you don't even take any of this purple damage. You were about to take 76
Oh my
points of
God.
necrotic damage.
Oh my
And-
goodness.
So Efimia's right next to me, right?
Right.
So Zag landed and kind of stumbled.
Yeah.
And as he sees this attack incoming, gets up to his feet, some type of like magical, almost energy barrier goes in front of him and Efimia. So the attack does hit directly on, but it's deflected around the sides of them.
Kobo, you watch in horror as the Kobo's Motoboto of Song, Story, and Salutation looks like it's just being taken on by this necrotic energy. However, it phases through the boat as Zag's healing energy is able to whelm over the necrotic energy, and you take no damage. The boat takes no damage. I don't need any dexterity saving throws from anyone on the boat.
Yes.
And with that is the end of Vecna's legendary action. We're going to go back up to the top of the initiative. Efimia, you are up.
Efimia is just going to start by first off, I would just like to describe how she was like just peering over the boat. Just watches Grom throw Zag straight up.
Right after you healed him.
So she's like worrying like that she did something like, that she couldn't bring him back. And then all of a sudden Grom just throws him straight at the enemy. And so she's just watching this almost in horror, but then just realizes what they're doing and how this weird plan is working by the time Zag lands next to her, heals her a little bit. She's still very bloodied, but she is going to give Zag a quick side hug.
Zag would be speechless.
And,
his heart would melt.
And she's just gonna say, "Welcome back to the living." I would like for her to just run off the edge of the boat and land on Orcus.
Yeah.
And for Orcus to fly her up to Vecna.
Yes. Go ahead and tell me what you were yelling out to Orcus in order to get him in a opportune position.
Efimia is just gonna yell out, "Orcus, you better catch me!" and just run off the edge.
Oh my gosh! Oh, they talked about trust fall exercises in demon school. Okay.
And he catches you and is able to transport you towards Vecna.
And then I'm going to use my rapier once I'm at least within 10 feet of her and make my first attack.
Okay, wonderful. Go ahead and roll it. As Orcus is like,
You don't want me to toss you then?
No, just get me close.
Grom did it and it looked really cool.
No, we're not doing that again. That was a one-time thing.
Okay, I just thought maybe I won't, but reconsider friendship bracelets.
Orcus, just die! First attack is a 24.
a 24 will hit.
And then we're gonna go 23.
Both will hit.
All right, let's roll damage. You know what? We're gonna just burn this last first level spell slot I have.
Okay.
And just go for it, and we're gonna use Divine Smite. 37.
37 points to Vecna. Where are you hitting?
I am currently flying in Orcus's arms.
Yes.
And I am just having him fly in a circle, and I just hit her a couple times along the way. But honestly, she's not even really aiming well. She has no idea where Orcus is going. He's not flying super great, but she manages to stick a couple right around her neckline on the back.
Yeah, so you're able to slash the nape of her neck as she watches Orcus just tunneling towards her, and then she sees you at the end slash into her. She, with these debilitating blows, she is looking bad. She's looking less than 100 hit points till death. She is looking absolutely hurt. And with that, is that the end of your turn, Efimia?
While I'm within 10 feet of her, I'm going to use my Channel Divinity, the Vow of Enmity, where I gain advantage on attack rolls for 1 minute.
Wonderful. Okay, so you encapsulate her in your paladin aura as she is unable to escape from you, as Orcus is just barreling towards her and you are slashing into her. And with that, we are going to go to the status report. Zag and Grom, go ahead and roll me d4s.
1.
4.
As the fire and rock primordial clash into each other, the atmosphere is going to absolutely heat up, and it feels like a volcanic amount of pressure and energy as this heat is just immense. I'm going to need everyone to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Heck yeah.
Yes. I'm on the Moto Bodo. Yes.
14?
27.
19.
13.
So Zag and Efimia, you're going to take 12 points of bludgeoning damage as hot shrapnel of these stone and molten lava is going to sear into your skin.
Ow.
And with that, that is the end of the status report. It is going to be Vecna's turn. She, again, is still just so very upset at Zag. However, is distracted by Orcus being in her purview. And Efimia, she is going to target you this round.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Alec, I'm going to need you to roll me a d6.
2.
A 2.
That's
Okay.
good, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She does not regenerate her big attack. She is going to use her bonus action to activate her rune crystal code manipulation, which will give her advantage on her next attack. And Efimia, she is going to cause you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I got a 14.
You are going to take 50 points of force damage.
Bye, guys.
As binary 0s and 1 from the rune crystal code is going to shoot through your chest. Are you down?
I'm down.
Go ahead and tell me what you see as you are knocked unconscious in the arms of Orcus.
Efimia just sees it happen so quick in her mind. She just sees this thing coming at her. You know, at first she's thinking how to stop it and just realizes she has no time. Then kind of just accepts her fate. She can't move out of the way. Everything's happening so suddenly. And she is just going to go limp in Orcus's arms.
Roll me a d4.
2.
Orcus is going to drop you. You are going to fall to the purple goop below and sink 2 feet deep in and take 1 failed death saving throw as you drop from Orcus's arms. And that is the end of Vecna's turn. Selene, you are sneak attacking into Vecna and you miss your opportunity saving throw as you watch Efimia, the person you started this adventure with, fall into the ground, into the purple goop, unconscious and starting to sink farther. What would you like to do?
Even though she is sinking underneath the goop, I'm still going to shout, Efimia, hold on just 1 minute. Luckily, I am down near the ground as I was attacking Vecna's shins, so it appears that I am within the proper distance to be able to reach her right now. Of course, I'm going to rush over in her direction. What kind of check do I need to do to try to take her out of the goop?
Athletics check to wrestle her out.
Okay, so I'm trying to make a split-second decision between trying to get her out of the goop or reaching my hand in, especially since I can fly, reaching my hand in a foot deep to heal her so she's at least conscious. I will do the risky thing and try to get her out of the goop, even though I am not particularly athletic.
Okay, roll me an athletics saving throw.
So that's a 5. I'm going to use my last point of inspiration.
Oh, dude.
That's a 14.
A 14 with a DC 12 check. For people outside of the goop, it is equal to the feet that they are in plus 10. Inside the goop, it is times 2 of the feet that you are deep plus 10. You are able to wrestle Efimia out. You see her unconscious body swept out of the goop. And is there anything else you would like to do with your turn?
So I know we're in goop right now. I'm looking at our battle map and I'm noticing we are around buildings. Are the rooftops of those buildings
uncovered? Yes.
Uncovered? Okay, well then I would like to use the rest of my movement speed to just carry her, it looks like just like 10 feet over to a rooftop.
Yes, so you go to the So-So Tailor shop. They are not doing well business-wise,
Nice.
but they have a very clever name.
Very good.
And
That's very good.
and you're able to gently place her on top of the roof unconscious, and you still have your bonus action left if you would like to do anything. You are 5 feet from Vecna currently, as Vecna's shadow is just towering over you, and you feel a chill down your spine as the necromantic aura of Vecna is encapsulated around you.
I would like to use my bonus action to... Can I try to hide?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll me a stealth. Against her perception, she gets a natural 17.
30.
Oh, wow. I was like, she gets a 23. Good luck. But with a natural 30, with a dirty 30, absolutely, you are absolutely able to hide under the corpse of Efimia.
That's not where I was going to hide.
Is that the end of your turn, Selene?
Yes.
All right. It is going to be Vecna's legendary action. She is going to look over the deadened Efimia, the unconscious Efimia, and be like,
Serves her right.
and then
Rude.
she's going to turn towards Zag, who is the only person who's like super in her purview as she looks at the Kobo's Motoboto of Song Story and Salutation. Grom, roll me a d6 to see if she recharges her big attack.
Yes.
What is it?
1.
A 1? All right. With a 1, she does not recharge her attack. Zag, I'm going to need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
13.
Unfortunately, a 13 is going to fail as you feel the rune crystal virus start to seep into your skin, and you are going to take 39 points of psychic damage, and you are now infected with the crystal code, and you will take 2d10 psychic damage on the beginning of each of your turns until you succeed this saving throw.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And that is the end of Vecna's legendary action. Grom, you are up.
I'm just continuing my scream of just wailing into her. So
Wonderful.
18 critical.
An 18 is a crit that will hit.
21 to hit.
21 will also hit.
28 to hit.
A 28 will also hit.
And then I'll also use my bonus action, so 25 to hit.
A 25 will also hit. So you deal 4 attacks, one of them being a critical hit.
20 points of bludgeoning damage and 11 reduced to 5 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
The next attack, it gets a +2 to damage because of the same thing. So 21 points of bludgeoning damage.
Wonderful.
2 reduced to 1 point of radiant. Third attack, 19 points of bludgeoning damage, 5 points of radiant reduced to 2. 19 points of bludgeoning damage on the last attack, 2 radiant damage reduced to 1.
88
Nice.
points. 88 points of damage.
Oh my goodness.
I just want each one to basically be like, I want the hammer to just start glowing with like a radiant light that starts, the purple goop starts like actually repelling from it.
Yeah.
Because it has a necrotic source, right?
Yeah,
And I just want each strike to basically, you hear as it clings out the sound of a hammer hitting an anvil as each strike hits and a burst of bright radiant light is just seen like throughout.
You hit Vecna over and over and over again with this divine light. You look almost like the solar that you saw in the Punch Bowl arena as you were hitting over and over and over again with this divine flashes of light over and over again as you hit into Vecna. She is clinging to life. Barely at the cusp. If Death's Door was around, she has it open, the door is unlocked, she's a step almost to the inside. As she's clinging to life, she's not messing around. She's going to take her second legendary action right after your turn, Grom, instead of waiting to see what Zag is going to do. I'm going to need, so she's going to take a good step backwards, moving her 20 feet away. Grom, you can take an attack of opportunity.
16 to hit.
A 16 will unfortunately not hit. A point of inspiration.
Listen,
This is the time.
this might be one of the last turns, so
Nice.
that is a critical.
That's a critical
natural
hit.
19.
All right, wonderful. Go ahead and roll damage as Vecna takes this big step back.
Oh, dang it.
17 points of bludgeoning damage, 5 points of radiant damage already reduced.
With a single hit point remaining. Vecna
What's
is
our punishment?
going to step back so that she is able to get in the way of Selene, Efimia, Grom, and Zag. And she's going to say,
If I can't beat you, I'll kill the city that you love.
and I need everyone to make me a Constitution saving throw. A huge necrotic beam is charging in her mouth, and it looks like she is trying to absolutely envelop the entire Greyhaven city in this necromantic energy, trying to tear the buildings from reality.
Oh my goodness.
What did everyone roll?
9.
25.
17.
Oh, are you unconscious?
Yeah.
So you automatically fail.
Ooh.
17?
Yeah.
You're going to fail a death save.
And she's
unless
gonna
it
take
takes you over
damage,
double.
right?
You will take damage.
Oh my goodness.
Zag, Efimia, and Selene with a 22 for this saving throw.
Rude.
You are each going to take 80 points of necrotic damage as this necromantic beam is going to tear through building after building. You see Inferior fall to the ground. You see the
Wait.
Punch Bowl Arena
Our families
fall
are
to
in
the
a
ground. You see every building within this 120-foot radius crumble into dust.
Did you just kill our dead family members?
With 80 points of necrotic damage, Efimia, you take an extra death saving throw. Go ahead and tell me about a negative memory from your life.
I'm going to say the first time that Efimia was out on her own, after, when her dad died, she pretty soon had moved in with Edmund until Edmund kicked her out. And then she had nothing. She had no items, barely the clothes on her back, a few things left over from her household. Like, her family never had like a ton when they got together. So all she had was basically what was on her as she left. And I think it was such a negative moment for her because she realized for the first time that she was on her own. And I think that was the moment when she thought that she had to do everything on her own, that she had to move on with her life on her own, and that she was the only one in control of her destiny. So I would say that moment, even though it was a moment that turned her into who she was, it wasn't who she wanted to be. It was just a
core memory, but not a good core memory.
Yeah, I was gonna say like just a very lonely feeling, realizing she had nobody behind her.
And you feel as your life force starts to wither away with this necromantic energy. Selene and Zag, as you are also hit, you also feel this malignant energy start to corrupt you into this anti-life feeling, and
I am down, but I have some things to do.
I am still up.
So Zag, you feel this corruption start to seep into you, and you, again, with an aching and sickening feeling, are going to fall unconscious unless you're able to succeed your strength of the grave.
Okay, it's gonna
how
be
much do you have to roll?
A DC 65.
Okay, so
because it's 5 plus damage taken over 0.
Oh wow, okay.
It's gonna be a nat 20 or
Has
nothing.
to be a nat 20.
Nope.
What'd you get? A 7? Unfortunately, you are going to succumb to the sickening feeling of this corruption. Go ahead and tell me what you are feeling as you go down a second time.
As Zag sees the incoming attack and the destruction ensuing around it, before he knows he's in a bad way, and not that he's giving up.
You're just watching this huge force of necrotic energy about to decimate the city. And so it is understandable
It's
that
terror,
you're not giving up,
almost.
but you almost feel like you have lost.
Yeah, he's not giving up hope that they can win.
Right.
But he's realizing in that split second, seeing that attack incoming, that it might be his last chance to do something he promised he would do.
Right.
And he will take all of his uncle's soul stones out of his pockets and unite them before the attack strikes him and knocks him unconscious.
In doing this, you will be losing all of your cleric levels.
Yep, 9 levels.
9 levels. Okay.
9 levels.
And how many levels of sorcerer do you have?
5.
Okay. Roll me a sleight of hand or religion check, your choice.
14.
With a 14, hands shaking, palms sweaty.
Mom's
spaghetti. Mom's spaghetti.
Yes!
You feel these rune crystals in both of your hands as you are able to clasp your hands together and try crying to just merge them together with the heat of your hands.
I will cast my 7th level spell.
You cast your 7th level spell.
All energy.
Imbuing this energy, heat beyond the sun in your hands as you just feel like you are withering away, and you feel like you're not strong enough to do this. However, right before you are about to succumb to the necrotic energy, you feel the energy of Thorn, your shadow, reach around your arms, and he is going to clasp your hands back together as you are about to fall unconscious.
That's so cool, Kate.
And reunite Kalen's soul stones as you fall unconscious. Selene, you watch as Zag does this act that he has been talking about this whole campaign as he reunites his soul stones. Zag, I'm going to need you to take a death saving throw, or a failed death saving throw, as you fall into the purple goop below from Kobo's Motobodo. And Selene, you watch as Efimia and Zag fall lifelessly down to the purple goop below, and you are feeling similarly to Zag like you have lost. It's almost as if this rot has built within your stomach and it is boiling over at this point as you are hit with this necromantic energy. Go ahead and describe an unpleasant memory that you have, or a distortion of a memory that you don't want to see in the future.
Selene thinks back to the moment she had her first phantom vision, and it was from an ancestor who shared some details about the way her parents died.
Right.
And something that she felt like she had closure on before had reopened up all over again, and was the beginning of starting this journey that clearly isn't going great. And so it felt like the beginning of the end a little bit when she decided to try to seek out more information about how her parents died. And at that time, she just had a lot of rage in her heart and was not doing very well emotionally. So that's what she's thinking about.
Yeah, and you were hit with this necromantic energy, and Vecna's face smirks after she lets off this huge beam of necromantic energy, and she looks down at you, Grom, and says, "Do your worst." As Vecna takes her last legendary action for the round, Zag, you are up again. Go ahead and roll me a death saving throw. You currently have a single death saving throw, so again, a 1 will kill you.
2.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Wow. You were able to clasp onto life. In fact, normally I would have you describe something bad in this moment. With a 2, however, your body almost gives in, but you were able to clasp onto a memory of something that is burning through your chest. What is the thing that is holding you to life right now?
Probably just the party.
Yep.
Before meeting Grom and Greyhaven and meeting Selene and Efimia in the bar, Zag had been wandering through the woods alone for months, trying to make his way to Greyhaven to find this long-lost brother, the only family he had left. And through the adventure and through just everything they'd been through, he realized he didn't need that. He got everything he needed and wanted with his new friends. Found family, and he doesn't want to leave them yet.
Yeah, wonderful. And you were able to clasp to life as you feel your body sinking under this purple goop. And with that, we're going to go to Efimia. I'm going to need you to make me a death saving throw.
I have 2 fails.
You have 2 fails.
I'm so scared for you.
Efimia, you are unconscious. I'm going to need you with 2 death saving throws. I'm going to need you to make potentially your final death saving throw of the campaign.
I'm just gonna do it.
No.
5.
No.
A 5.
No.
Efimia, you feel death's cold embrace as you think about how this entire campaign you've been yearning to meet your mother, how you've been wanting to reunite with your family, and at the last moment, that you were within seconds of victory, you were unable to succeed in this.
With her last breath, Efimia is going to look up at Selene and just go, "Please tell my mother that we finished this. And that she can go home now. And just know, I will see you again. Hopefully much later. Goodbye."
Your life drains from your face, and Selene, you watch as Efimia's face goes from a bright pinkish to pale and cold.
You just gave up your cleric levels and we have no resurrection spells.
Oh, dude, I didn't think about that.
Oh my gosh.
Zag and Selene, I'm going to need you to roll me d4s.
Oh my gosh.
2.
Ice
3.
and an electric. For this coming round, as you all feel this chill in the air that is electrified by this cold and electric elemental fighting against one another, your muscles feel both healed from the iciness and energized, and you are able to take 2 actions this round in place of a bonus action instead.
Okay.
To Vecna's turn proper. I'm very sorry. But Grom, seeing that you are pretty much the only person still alive, go ahead and roll me a d6.
1.
With a 1, her breath weapon will not recharge. Grom, I'm going to need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
16.
Grom, how are you feeling as you see Efimia fall?
Seeing both Zag fall off the boat and into the goop, and then turning to see what I'm assuming is a frantic Selene, complete red is going to fill his eyes, and he's just going to call out, "Butcher, do it!"
You feel your soul almost separated from your body as this necrotic energy is going to absolutely blacken into your personage, and you're going to take 89 points of necrotic damage.
I'm going to, as she hits me, I'm just going to look up at her and just, "Is that all you've got?"
Selene, go ahead and describe for me, as Grom put it, you are frantic with Efimia, lifeless in your arms. Go ahead and tell me, how is Selene coping with this? How is Selene handling this? What are you doing?
Nothing matters in this moment. I just have hot tears streaming down my face. I'm cursing Lathander, the elementals, Vecna, my parents, just everyone and everything. And my knee-jerk reaction was, and my whole plan was to heal Efimia, but now that I see that's not an option, I will take the opportunity I have, as I'm literally feet away from Vecna. I will fly up just halfway to where her heart is, and I will try to hit her with my Ahlpike.
You spiral in a deathly spiral towards Vecna's chest. Go ahead and roll me an attack.
That's an unnatural 20.
Nice.
That is going to just hit.
13 points of damage.
Selene, with a rage, with your best friend who you started this adventure with, fallen, and watching Zag give up his cleric levels to reunite the soul of his uncle, and you know that you have no way of bringing Efimia back. You tunnel into Vecna's heart, and you get into her blackened core, and you spin with your Ahlpike that was beginning to shatter with the zombies, and as you reach the core of Vecna and pierce through her heart, your Ahlpike shatters entirely in the core of Vecna. How would you like to kill this behemoth?
I actually would like to say nothing, but I would like to use my reaction to use tokens of the departed and turn Vecna into a soul trinket. I would like to use my bonus action to dash towards Zag. As I dash towards Zag, I'm going to scoop up Efimia and then move the 45 feet to get to Zag so that all three of us are together.
You are able to reunite the lifeless Efimia and the near lifeless Zag in a heap as you are able to clench the soul from Vecna's core. As you exit the cavity that you've created inside of Vecna's chest, Grom, you watch as the entire entity that is towering over this city is just compacted into a small trinket necklace with a stone at the very end of it, black as night, as Vecna is completely vanished from existence. And you watch as Selene takes both Efimia and Zag's body to a central location. And Selene, is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Grom?
I will dive in as well, jump to the rooftop that Efimia is on, see the lifelessness in her, and just have a sinking feeling. And like, with seeing that Vecna is gone, with his rage kind of subsiding, he's just left kind of sad and hollow, before realizing that there's still a friend that could use his help, and will jump in, and I'm going to just grab onto Zag and cast Cure Wounds with my last first level spell.
Zag, as Grom casts this final Cure Wounds on you, roll me a death save with advantage.
16.
With a 16, Grom, what was your thought when you first met Zag? You remember back to the time
On the train.
that you met Zag on the Rune Crystal train station, exiting the train, and he looked alone right in front of the city gates. What was your feelings towards this half-elf?
Both protective, but like hopeful. Unlimited potential, if that makes sense.
Zag, as you are feeling the love of Grom, feeling this unlimited potential within you, you were able to stabilize back into the land of the living, devoid of the blessing of your uncle. Zag, go ahead and roll me 4d8.
16.
As you come back to the land of the living, you feel your uncle's clerical powers surge through your veins one last time, and a beam of radiant light is going to shoot out from you in every direction. You will take on the appearance of your Uncle Kalen for a moment, as his soul nods to Selene and Grom, and then passes on into the next life. Everyone in the radius, including yourself, is going to heal 16 points of damage. The three of you climb out of the purple goop. It seems that the purple goop has lost the majority of its necromantic energy. Selene, you have this divine trinket. You are out of the woods, but with some great casualties along the way.
So I imagine that in the few passing moments, it's gone from war and, fighting and this giant creature who is now literally just gone, since she's in a trinket. It's just us on the ground. And I don't know, I just imagine that silence, even if there's elementals fighting in the distance or whatever, to be just so deafening, as we've been through just such a long journey and such a long battle that it's like it's over now, but obviously it just doesn't feel right, and it doesn't feel like a victory.
I don't think Zag's gonna accept what he wakes up to, and he's gonna frantically get all of the credits off of Efimia's person and attempt to cast a Revivify on her. And as he does it, nothing will happen, and he will repeatedly try over and over and over again while yelling, just, "No! No!"
Grom is gonna go up and, "Let me try." And he's gonna go and just shake her and, "Wake up! Wake up!" And keep going, and divine energy will spark but not be able to go. And what do we do? Martin, if you can hear me, bring her back. I'll give up my power. I'll give up my money. I'll give up myself. Let her come back, please.
Roll me a religion check.
16.
With a 16, you feel Moradin's light heat up your hammer, and you see droves of armies, ally armies, start to filter in as it seems that the fight has gone in a successful direction, and Moradin's light beams through you. However, you are unable to grasp it fully. Beyond your hammer, you see Efimia's mother soaring to the battlefield as quick as she could.
All right, you know what, Marissa? I know you're saying to let it go. I'm not. Zag wouldn't let it go. Zag's gonna grab the deck of things and pull a card. Zag would not let it go without trying.
Oh my gosh.
She's the queen, not the princess.
So you draw the knight card. Out of the blue, a person stands beside you and says, "Zag, my liege, shall I pour the coffee, sir?"
Zag's gonna pull another card, frantically. When she doesn't come back to life, when he pulls the first one, he's pulling a second one.
You pull the idiot card.
Oh my gosh.
Roll me a d4.
Oh my goodness.
My favorite.
Oh my gosh.
1.
So you are going to lose 2 points of intelligence, and you must draw an additional card.
Really? And so now Zag immediately, frantically pulls another card.
The fates, the fabric of reality shifts and tears before slowly repairing itself. At any time before death, the player may use this card's magic to avoid or erase an event as though it never happened. However,
however.
I'm going to allow you to channel this energy with you giving up your cleric levels in the direction of Efimia, if you would like.
Absolutely. He doesn't know what he's doing, as always, why he's doing it. But as he pulls this card and this energy comes to life and the fabrics of the universe tear apart, he will redirect all that energy towards Efimia's body.
Roll me a luck check, Zag.
19.
With a 19, you are able to harness the reality tearing itself apart, and you are able to tear it slightly more than you would feel comfortable with. Efimia, you are in the astral plane. You are dead. You feel this regret of starting this journey in the first place, knowing that you might not have been able to make it. You know that River was somebody that you looked up to but has died. You know that your father is also in the astral plane. You feel like all of your heroes have fallen and are exactly where you are, and so you feel this feeling of dread of why did I even try when all these great people before me couldn't. And as you are slipping into the permanence of death, you feel a glimmer of Himbo's luck radiate through your chest cavity. And similarly to how Selene was able to tear through Vecna, a beam of radiant light is going to shoot out through your chest. Welcome back to the land of the living, Efimia.
Oh my god.
I can't believe
I would just like listeners to know I've been crying for like 15 minutes straight.
I can't believe that worked.
I can't believe that worked either. I thought for sure you were going to kill yourself.
I was going to stop you from pulling cards after that. I'm like, 3 is enough for one go.
That's
was gonna go until you guys stopped me.
Too. That was like, as soon as I saw the fates, I'm like, no. Because everything else, like, not really anything.
You can get a wish spell.
You can get a devil to become your enemy. Like, you can get a ton of jewelry, random cards, but like that one was.
If you had pulled another card, you would have pulled the Don John card and would have completely disappeared to a different plane.
Oh my god.
And you would have never been able to been found, not even through a wish spell.
But guess what?
A little bit
of Himbo's luck, baby.
Wow.
Just do the dumb thing you think of first.
The wildest session I have ever been a part of.
You are back to the land of the living.
Yay!
Efimia, you come back with this Himbo's luck. You feel the love of your party around you as everyone is huddled around you, trying desperately to do anything to bring you back. And you watch as Zag is frantically pulling card after card from the deck of many things, trying to bring you back, and is able to bring you back through the Himbo's luck itself. And you are back in the land of the living. You watch as your friends are piled around you, and you hear the armies, your ally armies, victorious in the distance, and can feel your mother approaching in the distance. But what would you like to say to the Champions of Greyhaven in this moment?
I would just like to know that Efimia had accepted her death. Like, I know you kind of discussed it, but I just want to emphasize that she had gone into this without having an ending plan, because she knew anything that she had, she would throw towards anyone else too. That's why I had a revivify on deck. I had a death ward on deck. I had the 70 points of lay on hands, and I just threw it all at once. But as she just finally comes to and takes a breath, wakes up realizing that like everyone was still kind of, freaking out over her, and she just takes a deep breath and does her best to sit up, but she's in a lot of pain. Girl is hurting. Like, her body is just pretty much useless at that point. She's still at death's door. But Efimia's gonna do her best to sit up and try to grab the three that are huddling around her in a painful and loose hug. And she's going to look at her party and just say, "Thank you. I hope you all know you are my family, and you are stuck with me forever." and she's gonna look at Zag and go, "Zag, you didn't need to do that for me."
I do dumb stuff all the time for the people I love.
Efimia is just gonna give a gentle kiss on the cheek to Zag, but then she's gonna look up and see her mom in the distance and are coming towards her, and she can't exactly scramble up. She's still pretty battered.
I'll help her up to her feet and help get you to a stable position so that you can at least hug your mom.
And the party around you, Grom, Zag, and Selene, bring you to your feet, holster you up, and get you in a walking position. And as your mother is approaching you as fast as she can, dashing every single action she can to get to you, you feel your future that was once taken from you, that the fates decided to give back for whatever reason, the future of your mother in a world that the four of you were able to save. And I believe that is where we're going to end our campaign.
It was all leading up to that. Man.
You guys are the best crew that anyone could ever ask for. I am so lucky that I have gotten the opportunity to play with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of my table for over a year at this point, and I love all of you guys, and thank you everyone for listening. And my name is Kade, the host and chaos coordinator of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I am joined here by the absolutely amazingly talented players to my left.
I didn't expect this to be so emotional.
Right?
I'm sorry. I did not expect this at all.
I didn't think I was
I'm
gonna
having
cry.
a hard time. Alec playing Zag.
Mason playing Grom.
Marissa playing Efimia.
And Brooklyn playing Selene.
Thank you so much for listening. We are honored by you being here. We are so grateful that we've been able to make it. 3 years in the making, this podcast has been, and we are still going, and it is because of you as listeners. Thank you so much for being a follower, a listener, a fan, and friend of our show. We love each and every one of you, and we hope that you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you got to do is keep rolling, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.